It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I had showed off the new dark shading around the bottom and the side area of my chest tattoo. This is mostly peeled now. There's just a few spots that are still shedding. I recapped my horrible dentist adventure and some of the dental work I'm having. I've had another small dental session since. I'm not going to get too much into that. I think I probably talked enough or too much about that crap already. I have had a few more updates since. I decreased both the size of my philtrum and my labret or labrae piercing. Some people say labrae, some people say labret. For reference, this was a 26 millimeters. Now it's 13 millimeters. Or no, 14. I have a 13 as well. I'm not sure if I'll go down that far or not. And I believe this is now 7 millimeters. So the biggest I had my philtrum was 13 millimeters, and just kind of playing around, seeing what I like more. Kind of enjoying the smaller size for both of those. My wife thinks maybe this is a little too small now. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, but I enjoy the smaller size a little bit more. I don't think I'll ever get rid of it, but I'm definitely enjoying the smaller ones. And when I look back at older videos, I think it was definitely way too big when it was 26 millimeters. If you want to know how I shrunk my labrae, what steps I took to do that, you can check out a whole video on that. I will get into what I've done recently here. I had a 6-hour session with Terry, believe it or not. We did all of the background elements of my sleeve in one go. When we started, I wasn't actually sure if we'd get through it all. These are always kinds of the kind of session that you feel like are going to be real short, because they're just such kind of small, but they're not. Like anything that wraps always takes more time than you expect. Even just getting them on took like 45 minutes in the way that we wanted. So it's a little awkward to show off a whole sleeve wrap, but I'm doing my best. I'll step out of frame a little bit here. So yeah, there's little parts that wrap in between the roses that are there, and just big gaps filled with the thorns. That was the plan. That was our intention all along. So this was not an afterthought. This sleeve was planned to be roses, thorns, red, done. So if you ask me, we're about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway done that sleeve, but I'm factoring in a session or two for second pass white. So as I say that, I'm going to be real clear for the people who don't understand this. This will stay like this for the most part. I'm doing a second pass not because it's fading, but because when you do a second pass of white, it increases the contrast. So I just want to specify that, because I've had some people who are like, oh, Remy, you've done like 400 sessions on your white. No, I haven't done more than 3 on anything. I've done 3 passes of white on this moon. That's the only place I've touched more than twice. This is 2 times, but the first time I don't really think was adequate because of the way we wrapped it. We used a spray-on bandage. I've talked ad nauseum about that, so I'm not going to get back into that. Anyway, the white didn't heal properly, so it wasn't really a good shot. This is 2 passes of white. That's it. And most of the rest of me is just 1 pass white. These have all been done, like all the stuff on my face has been done twice. But again, that wasn't because it wasn't there. It's because I wanted the contrast to be greater. So this is going to be as bright as this, essentially. That's what we're going for. These tattoos, I want them to be the same value as these. So you can see that's really white. That is, how long ago now? 3 or 4 months ago we did these white highlights, I'd say. So yeah, those aren't going anywhere. I mean, there's going to be that magic day I wake up and it's all just gone, right? Anyway, the idea from the outset was to do 2 passes of white. We may even do a third highlight run. So, for example, we still haven't done that with these, but I plan to. In the high points, I want to do a third pass just to increase the contrast in key places. So instead of having dynamic Panthera and then white, we have dynamic Panthera, white, and then third pass white that has that extra white. Like that is pretty white, right? And that hasn't been done now in a long time. So that third pass white is your real light. The second pass is sort of a lighter light, and first pass is just lighter than the dynamic background. So again, second, third passes just for extra contrast, not necessary. This white is only 1 pass, so and it still does the trick. Anyway, yeah, this chest piece is looking pretty great. All that white in there came through about the way I expected it to, as I said. That's going to be the same way for all these thorns too. By now I've done this enough that I know exactly what I'm looking at. The white will darken, the black will lighten, and you get a tone like that. It's just the way it is. There's no ifs or buts about that. I pretty well got this down to a science now, to the point where I'm incredibly confident in how it will heal. As long as we get the ink in and it looks a certain way that day, I know what it looks like when it heals now. It took a while to get there. So I should say that was the longest session I've had in a little while. I don't usually sit for full days. We got started around 9:30 and we didn't get done here until 5, but we had some interruptions. So it was basically a full day appointment. I don't do that very often. I'm going to be giving my arm the full week off to heal this week. As much as I would love to get right in there and do the red, now that we have the black and white together, we can wait on the red. That's not going to go anywhere. So we'll probably start from the bottom with the red and work up. I don't know how much we'll get done in each session. I'm thinking the red will take 2. And then maybe a skim touch-up. Almost any full saturation sleeve you're going to do is going to need a touch-up. So I would think that's 3 more sessions, and then I want to do 1 or 2 more sessions on the white for a maximum of 8 to 9 sessions for this sleeve. Generous is 10. I think we'll have this sleeve done in 10 sessions. We've already done, 4? So we're at least almost halfway, at the least. We might be closer. I always factor in longer than I need so that I won't be frustrated, disappointed, whatever. Anyway, this sleeve is doing exactly what I expected it to do. When I talked to Terry about doing this sleeve, this was kind of like my sell. I wanted to do a sleeve that was so striking and so clear in any light, for any novice who maybe doesn't even have any tattoos, for any prospective audience looking at Blackout. I wanted one of my limbs to be a showcase piece to potentially put to an audience and say, this is what's achievable over black. You can get this clear, recognizable image that will not go anywhere. So this is a showpiece item. It's less about, I like the look of roses, because I do, but it's more about a rose is a rose to anyone, anywhere around the world. They're going to recognize that. So I wanted to make that level of sleeve over black to show people what Blackout can potentially do. And it's having that result. As I did this video, I've already showed this off on my TikTok, and it's going completely viral. And so many people are coming around going, I want a Blackout sleeve so I can do something like that. And people who don't follow me are coming in. You know, it's clearly hit the explore page or whatever, the For You page on TikTok, and I'm getting people who have no tattoos who like it, and it's basically like a pop song or like a Walmart grab item. Like it appeals to any and all taste, which is exactly what I wanted, and it is validating to see that I hit the mark. My other sleeve will be much more complicated Though Kevin at the shop here keeps thinking that I'm going to do this sleeve similarly to this one. The only thing that it will be similarly is it's going to be big. It's going to be, we're going to be working the same size. But it's going to be more Lovecraft inspired, much like my chest and my torso work. So while it will be big and bold, it won't be as simplistic as this one. But I think that'll keep it more interesting anyway, because I like lots of different tattoo styles, and having just one style wouldn't have been tenable for long for me, and it would have only been so long before I'd want to restart. And thankfully, I've kind of figured out I have that option always. So the arm will flow with the neck and face, and the other arm will flow with the chest and torso. And then in some way I'm balanced, and I'm a big fan of duality anyway, so that works great for me. So yeah, nothing about this was too painful. In terms of our approach, we started at the hand here, little thorns around the wrist, and then built it all the way up, almost like he was climbing up a big tree or something. And I've got pretty big arms. I'm not bragging, but like my biceps are pretty big. This was a good time for me to do this because some of my skin is stretched out from gaining about 50 pounds last year, mostly muscle. Again, not a brag, it's just a fact. It stretched out my skin a bit, and there are some patchy spots, particularly on my right arm, that if I didn't do this, I would have had to re-black out my arms, because I'm not going to let those spots stand forever. So it's a good thing we got to this when we did. Anyway, I'm yammering now, and I could probably talk for 20 minutes longer about this one, but I got another session coming up on Monday. I'm taking the week off with Terry, let this whole arm healed, and then we're starting the red. So I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Have a great day.